Welcome to the OCRP iRacing League here tonight at Darlington, about to get underway here in about 10 and a half minutes before we're going to hit some qualifying, and we will go from there. Top of the board right now, looking like we have Brandon Buggs there and Charles Gray. Then we have Pew, Fodderero, Macedo Brown, Ruchi, and Lance there. Is rounding the top 8, and then the last two there was Benende and Hilton. So showing some speed out of that 89 car that we haven't seen all season long, but it is no surprise that the 81 is at the top of the leaderboard here, as this is a track that's always been good for that driver, as well as Gray. Now, we haven't seen Wes the Mess get out on the track yet and try to put down some laps, but let's have a look at what we got going on tonight. Weather tonight, air temperature 77 degrees. Now, the winds are showing 1 mile per hour, but I'm seeing on the other source that is showing 2 miles per hour. So, woo, careful. Track temperature 81 degrees. That sun is starting to come down. And as that sun goes down, the track will find grip tonight. So, it starts off being a little slicker with that sun hitting it. That's not going to be the case as we move into the night, and we will be under the lights as far as that goes. Everybody out there on Twitch right now watching live, welcome to the stream and the race. We're about to get underway here shortly. First things first, we're going to jump in and just keep an eye on some of the drivers that are turning some laps. I'm not sure if that's if he's out there yet. I don't think he is. That is your guy, Matt Ruchi. We have a bunch of drivers. There's Wes the Mess getting ready to come out there onto the track. We're going to kind of follow him on the way out to the track and kind of get you acquainted with what you can expect from Darlington tonight. It's a very difficult track. It's a 1.31 mile track around here, and turns 1 and 2 are a lot. It's not as sharp, so it's basically like an egg shape, if that makes sense to you. But on the right hand side, we can see we have all these different little grooves down the track, and you're going to see drivers driving right up next to the wall as you see Wes the Mess right now doing that. That is the preferred line around this track, and it will be what you will see all night long. One of the most popular things of this track is the Darlington Stripe. What is the Darlington Stripe, you may ask? It is the stripe of paint that gets rubbed off onto your car because you're driving so close to the wall, as you see a driver wrecking there in the back. Now, this is practice. We have 7 minutes and 58 seconds left of it before we are underway into some qualifying here. So, yeah, you'll see a lot of drivers crashing their cars and all this stuff, but that is because they have to push the car to the limits to see what it can do. And there's no better, session you can do that in besides practice. And you see the 43 and the 97 of Beaver there getting together and spinning around, but Wes the Mess with some really good accident avoidance there we saw. And this is one of Wes's favorite tracks here. There's no way in absolute hell he would ever miss it. So he's here tonight getting ready to get underway. Alex Reno getting ready to come out here on the track, it looks like. A lot of guys that you've seen before. Another driver there is Mr. David Sermon. You know him as Damn It Dave. He will be turning some laps as well. But let's watch the fastest one on the track right now in that throwback scheme, the 81 of Brandon Buggs. As you can see, he's got the red and white scheme. We've seen this in the Outcast League when they run the 87s, and this is one of those paints that that driver likes to use. And you're going to see a lot of familiar paints you've seen before, but you're going to see a lot of ones tonight that you haven't seen before because it is Throwback Weekend. It's a tradition at Darlington to do exactly that. So there you go. How many cautions tonight? Well, that is anybody's guess. I think you will be pleasantly surprised at what we will see tonight, and just you can get a real good idea of just how tight those are right there. 81 sliding it. He keeps it. Nope. He's going to spin it around, holding the brake, and hit that inside wall there. So even the fastest driver out on the track right now, pushing the limits of the car to see what he can get out of it. Matt Ruchi still sitting on pit road. Nick Sargent as well. And that is a beautiful looking scheme right there, based off the older Jimmy Johnson car. And we have so many. It's going to be hard to keep an eye on who's doing what here. We got James Hilton right now He is in the Tony Stewart Home Depot car. He threw it back all the way to the good old days of racing, as a lot of the boomers like to say, and that is what he's rolling in tonight. Chris Essery on pit road right now in the Miller Lite 2 car. We've seen that before. That is a Rusty Wallace paint scheme there. And Brad Kozlowski that drives the 2 car also threw back to that one back in the day. Ryan Potter out there. Can't get a good look at his car right now. We're trying to see, what is he rolling with there? I can't really tell. Looks like it's something shop. So I'm not really sure there. But Aaron Beaver in the 97 car that he normally is in. I'm not seeing a throwback scheme on that one tonight. I'm going to be just missing out a little bit on it. Scott Barkman, he's out on the track right now. And that good old Mark Martin Valvoline car looking good as the 54 slams into the wall right there. That was not nice at all. I don't think he was too thrilled about it either. It was Logan Pugh there. We've seen Logan Pugh showing speed tonight. You know, he's 4th fastest so far, just below Ruchi. Love that car right there. That's a good looking one there. Ryan Steinhoff here. He is driving a different looking scheme here. It is the DuPont scheme that you have seen from back in the day on Jeff Gordon's car. Now he forgot to change his wheel color, so he has those hideous looking bright lime green wheels on it, which would look much better if they were black. But I think he just forgot to change those out. That happens to the best of them, right? Isaiah Stevens about to come out on the track with the Nesquik car. Now, the Nesquik car is already kind of a throwback to, God, who was that? Is Jeff Green, right? I think that's who drove that car back in the day, the Nesquik car. Famous for its flip in one of the crash compilations you can see out there for sure. Alex Reno now coming out onto the track. We've seen this car before. This is the TWA Transcontinental Airlines throwback scheme. Very nice looking. He's a Midwestern boy, so it makes sense for him to throw back to a car scheme like that. And he's got the chrome wheels to go with it, which look really nice. Whoa, that was a close one there. Gage Bookman out there with a 36 Goodwrench car. Kind of looks like an old Kevin Harvick car. Maybe he was throwing back to a Dale Earnhardt, but I believe this is an older Kevin Harvick car from what I can see. We're going through seeing who's all out here on the track right now. And Robert Keller tonight in that 4 car and the Ego car. Now, he's throwing back to his old scheme he did earlier on in the first seasons of the OCRP iRacing League, so that's what he's doing there. Chris Fleisner still on the actual pit road, so we're not going to worry about that one. I'm trying to see who else we have out here with some throwbacks now. I haven't seen what Dave is running yet. He said he was going to throw this thing together in like 20 minutes, so we'll see how that is working. Brandon Osborne, he has now made it to the track, and this is one of the drivers I did want to talk about tonight. Another person that drives very well at Darlington, and they do enjoy this track. Now, a very special paint scheme for this driver, and that is the 80 throwback car you see right here to his actual stock car he used to drive. So he went ahead and did a throwback to his real life racing, and it's a good looking car. I like it. I like the black with the orange and yellow. Very retro looking scheme there. A driver we should see a lot out of tonight for sure. This is a driver that's had kind of an up and down start to the season, and he just keeps getting caught up in some stupid stuff, but maybe things will turn around here in the Lady in Black, and he'll be able to pull out a better finish. If not, up there, we're going to see where he ends up on the board here in just a few moments. Let's have a look here and see if he even crawls in the top 20 here. I would assume he will on these fresh tires. He's staying right behind Steinhoff there. Gets around Steinhoff, 17th fastest right there. So not in the top 10 yet in practice. So we'll see how this goes down here on the next lap. All the way up next to that wall, coming across the line there, and that is going to put him It's like 17th right there, about right around 17th or so. Kind of hard to get, you know, a fast lap. Maybe he's not trying to put any laps down other than, you know, Dave right there wrecking out in front of him. There's always that. So we don't have the points on hand here, but I can tell you what's going on with the points because I actually have a ability to get to those. And I will do exactly that and let you know what's going on with the points standings. Because we don't have it currently updated in here. And, ooh, Brandon Osborne, hang on to it hard. Crash into the inside wall there. That was not good at all. Yeah, we're going to get you caught up here on the points here in just a few moments. There we go. Now we get that beautiful look of Darlington as the sun is starting to set down there. I'm going to have a look now. It's the end of practice, and we are going to move into qualifying. And Joel Brown is going to be the first one out there to do that. Turn this down a little bit here and get some points to you here. So currently right now, leading the points. I don't know if that's the correct one. I think that's the Monday League. Is it the Monday League? Yeah, that was the Monday ones. You can't have those. I was like, that's definitely not right. So that's okay. I'm trying to figure out how he has this all set up. It's kind of a mess. All right, standings. Here we go. Now we can see him. All right, cool. As Joel Brown's out there turning his laps, we're going to keep this right here. I did actually find the correct point standing so I can get you up to date on what's going on with that and put you on the sidebar ticker so you can see what's going on. The leader obviously is Matt Ruchi. He is in the first position as far as the standings go with 247. Behind him is Leonard Fodorero, one of those drivers that got one of those wins in there and has been slowly but steadily been staying in the top. So that's a driver to watch this season for sure. Robert Keller there with the win that he got in Daytona. He's in third. Dylan Macedo in fourth. Fifth is Nick Sargent. Sixth, you got Charles Gray, Brandon Osborne in sixth. Eighth to Joel Brown. And there's a tie right now between Joel Brown and Alex Reno. Jason Lance, then Brandon Buggs, Ryan Potter, Chris Essery, Wes Graham, James Hilton, Isaiah Stevens, Kyle Cleveland, 17th. And then you got Andrew Ewing. Then we got Ryan Steinhoff, Gage Bookman, Aaron Beaver, Scott Barkman, Anthony DeFrenchie, Stephen C. Thompson, Zach Hausnecht, Stefan Benende, David Allen, 19. Well, 19. Jeffrey Spells. Hey, Rodriguez. Then we got Clint Spells. Eric. A lot of these guys have been changed over to the Monday. I don't know, man. That's a convoluted system they've got there to keep track of this. I wish I had just something on a piece of paper for what we currently have on our Thursday night league. That seems like a mess to me. So I really don't know. I really have no clue. Brandon Buggs right there coming down pit road. And he's showing 8th fastest so far in qualifying. He's just having some fun with that car, it looks like. Right now, Gage Bookman out on the track. Trying to put down some decent laps here. And that's going to put him not in the top 10. One of those drivers that we are going to be watching tonight is the driver of the 89 car of Hilton, James Hilton there with a P10 run. And really good to see that, you know, all things considered. And Buggs is still going backwards there on the track. Not sure what's going on with that driver, but seeing if anybody else is out on the track right now. Eric O'Neill, nope. Nick Sargent, maybe going to come back out on the track. I'm not really sure. Ryan Steinhoff, nope. Osborne's out there on the track right now. Trying to lay down the best lap he can. And gets in the wall right there between 1 and 2. Almost gets in the wall again, exiting 2 there. Showing 15th fastest on that first lap there. We're going to see if he can get anything else out of the car. Gets into the wall. A little bit of Darlington Stripe right there. And that's going to do it for his run there. So Showing P15 right now, unless that changes here. I don't see that happening anytime soon. But right now on the pole is Dylan Macedo, one of the drivers we saw last week at Pocono, putting on a great show. I'm a poet and didn't know it. And it looks like Brandon Osborne's going to stay on the track, try to get one more out of that thing if he can. Here at the 5-minute marks when it ends, and we move into the drivers' meeting, which we will then take a short break so I can recover a little bit here. And then we get into we put our game face on and we go racing at Darlington. That's what I'm waiting for. A little closer to the wall there on that one. And still not seeing any difference there. I don't know if these guys are just still out here driving around for fun or what's going on with that. Steinhoff still on the pit road, and so is Nick Sargent. Maybe they're waiting to see where everybody ends up. Benende as well. Not seeing anything else, to be perfectly honest with you. So that's kind of how it's lining up. Looks like Macedo is going to have the pole tonight. Charles Gray in second, Ruchi in third, fourth to Logan Pugh. Wes Graham, look at that. Nice run for Wes Graham, a P5 effort there in qualifying. That's a good starting position for that driver. Expected to see that out of him, actually. And then we got Joel Brown, got Fodderero, and then Brandon Buggs in 8th, 9th to Lance, and 10th to Hilton. So not a bad lineup there tonight. We're going to go through our starting lineup once we get things underway. They're in their drivers' meeting right now. We're going to take this time to take a short break, and we'll be right back. and welcome back to Darlington Under the Lights, getting ready to get things going here in just a few moments. And we're going to get on. There we are, right there. Got everybody lined up, ready to go. Lights are off on the pace car. It means one lap around this place under caution, and then we will be green flag racing. Tonight, just me in the booth. I am Jeff Favignano, and welcome to Darlington. It should be a fantastic show tonight. Looks like we're waiting on one more driver to grid in before we get going here. So Dylan Macedo on the pole tonight with that Miller High Life car. That is a throwback to, looks like Rusty Wallace. A lot of throwback schemes you're going to see tonight in the field. That is to be expected. And we'll get your starting grid here in just a few moments. Let's go ahead and start now, actually, because I'm sure they'll be launching off the line here in just a few. So right here on the pole, Dylan Macedo in the 25 car and Charles Gray starting on the outside of him. Then we got Matt Ruchi in row 3. Then we, sorry, that got skipped. I don't know. Let's reset that again and do it again, shall we? There we go. Okay, row 2, Matt Ruchi. That was correct. Logan Pugh in row 2. Row 3, we got Wes Graham and Joel Brown starting on the outside of Wes. And then Leonard Fodorero, one of the drivers that got a win earlier in this season, and Brandon Buggs starting on the outside in the 81 car. Jason Lance in row 5 and James Hilton. Then we have Aaron Beaver and Ryan Potter. Chris Essery and Isaiah Stevens, sorry. Brandon Osborne starting in row 8 with Alexander Reno to this outside. Nick Sargent and Gage Bookman in row 9. Row 10, we got Kyle Cleveland, Robert Kellert. And then we got Eric O'Neill and Christopher Fleisner there in row 11. 12 is David Sermon, and that is that. There you go, folks. Ready to go racing here tonight under the lights at Darlington. I'm certainly excited for it if you can't tell already. These drivers are getting into their gear, setting into the car, taking a deep breath, getting ready to go racing here. Gotta love that photoshopped job that Ryan did for Buggs' photo. Put his head on Kevin Harvick's body, actually. Pace car is down and away. We're getting ready to go. Green flag racing here under the lights. Macedo holding off a little bit further, and green flag in the air. There it is. Barney's throwing that flag and already fanning out behind. Green flag in the air. Let's see if all the drivers can keep it nice and clean here on the starting lap. If we get an early caution, this is where everybody gets really out of shape coming off of 2, which we just saw back there in the back. Looks like he's able to keep that going. I believe that was Jason Lance that got all out of shape there coming off of turn 2. Side-by-side contact between Macedo, and that was indeed Logan Pugh, I believe is who he made contact with. And the 43 is spinning, and the 81's involved. We got a bit of a problem here. You hate to see that. We're going to try to find out what happened here if we can. The 81 of Brandon Buggs having, a killer start to his season, and this is just not helping anything. That whole front end is completely ripped off the side of that, or the front of that car there. We're going to back this up and have a look and see what exactly happened here. It all got out of shape really fast here. And that was the 43. I don't know, there was a contact made. Looks like somebody's in the wall in front of him. That's just Wes getting a little bit of a Darlington stripe. And the 81 had nothing to do with that one. Looks like the 43 of Brown just came down across the nose in that Coors car. And Fodorero just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time as they all three get collected right there. And James Hilton nowhere to go. He finds himself in the back end of Fodorero there. And let's see if Beaver was able to get around there. I'm not sure if he was. Yeah, everybody gets around except for these 4 drivers that were all collected in that. We're going to watch that one back, and we're going to watch it a few times and see what exactly happened here. Yeah, it just looks like Brown just came down, thought he was clear, wasn't clear, came across the nose of the 81, and that was pretty much that. That's kind of how it goes. Watch from the chopper cam here. And you can see just right there. That's where they make contact right there. And it looks like the 43 just thought maybe he was clear. And he wasn't. So there's just nowhere for those drivers to go, unfortunately. And they're going to have to come down pit road and get a fast repair. You hate to see it, especially on the opening laps here at the track. But there is right there. That's what a fast repair is. You have them come down pit road. You see Bugs come in there, comes to a stop. He makes sure that he has that selected. And bam, you just get an instantly perfect race car again. Now, you only get 3 of those things, so you got to be sparing with those. And that's going to throw the 81 to the back of the pack. But right now, your leader is the 87 of Charles Gray. Not a bad start to his night. And we've got that wonderful bug where it sounds like they're in first gear the entire time, but I can guarantee you they're not driving around in first gear. No way. Didn't even get time to get to the ticker there or anything before that crash happened there. Wanted to have a couple laps of just beauty. That is Darlington, and that sorely was taken away from us, wasn't it? So we're under caution now, completing lap 5. Lights are still on the pace car, so we at least have 2 more laps before we're going to be back underway under green. And that's Logan Pugh there in the car behind him. Now, we saw Pugh and the 25 of Macedo make contact off of turn 4. We'll see if Macedo's going to let that slide. I'm not sure. It was maybe somebody said, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know. But here's another driver that we have seen absolutely consistent this season, and that is the 28 of Matt Ruchi. What an incredible drive he has had so far this season, and he shows himself right now in 3rd. So we're gonna wait here. Yeah, it's showing he's in gear 1, but I guarantee you they're not riding around in first gear. That would just eat up so much fuel that you wouldn't want to, especially at 9,200 RPM. That seems to be an iRacing deal. We'll see if the lights are off on the pace car this time by. It should be. And we're going to go 2 by 2. And there's the lights out on the pace car right there. So, yep, we'll be 2 by 2 this time by. Charles Gray, the leader, will be the control car on the restart. And he will have Logan Pugh on the outside, Ruchi behind him. Then you got Macedo, and then Wes Graham. Don't count out Graham. And then to the outside of Graham, got around that wreck. That was the 97 of Aaron Beaver. Good to see him up in the mix. On the backstretch now, lights are off on the pace car, and we are seeing some cars that decided to not get a fix done. I believe that is... it's going to be hard to find out who's who tonight because everybody has got different paint schemes than we're used to. Just when I started learning all these guys and all the paints, they shake it all up on us there. But that's definitely damage in the back of that car. It might be David Sermon's car there that has all that damage in the nose there. Case car's down and away. We're going to be going back green flag racing here. The 87, the control car. Waiting and waiting, and green flag back in the air here at Darlington. Some cars out of shape back there behind me. Here comes the 54 of Pugh, and he loses it completely. Might be wrecking, and he is wrecking. He's coming back up into the track, and no. You've got guys that are just absolutely arc-breaking into each other back there. What happened there? And Logan Pugh instantly towing. Let's find out what happened there. Running P2, and it just got away from him. That is one of the most difficult corners here at this track is the exit of 2. You gotta drive that car as straight off the corner as possible. You see he gets loose right there. He's trying to save it there. No brakes, just straight into the wall. That's a heartbreaker for that team, but it doesn't mean that their night is over. We see too many drivers get angry about making a mistake early on in the race. They could go down pit road. They can get that fixed right here. Just arc brakes. Nobody stopping at all. Got the 9 there of Barkman going to the side of the 54. And then you have some more cars getting collected there. And Lance was able to get around that one. Now, Brandon Buggs, not so much. He gets, right around the 5. We're going to have to watch what he saw there for sure. And that's, I believe, David Sermon there with the whole front end gone on that car. Yeah, let's back that one up. Let's ride along with Buggs and see what he saw here, because that was an incredible close call that he had. The 54 is already spinning here and holding the brake, and everybody should be hitting the brakes there, and they're not. And then here comes the 5, and look at that wreck avoidance right there. That was a close one. That was a close one indeed. Wow. Back under caution because Logan Pugh spun off of turn number 2. And just a really unfortunate thing for that driver. I'm sure he's very upset about it. Not happy. He's still on pit road. I'm not sure if he's wanting to rage quit here. He's going to give up. But he does have fast repairs. And maybe he's waiting for that towing, because he, instead of driving it back, maybe he had the meatball or whatever. He couldn't drive it back to the pit road. So he's still waiting on towing. The towing takes about 3 minutes. So he's going to go down numerous laps. We'll see what happens there. Well, so far so good up front for Charles Gray, one of those drivers that we've been, seeing ever so slightly inching towards a victory here in the season, and this is no different. Beautiful looking car there. Not sure what that throwback scheme is too. I do like the look of it though. All right, folks, we are back under caution. We're going to step away for just a minute to save voice for the night. We got a lot of racing to go. 100 laps around this place. We'll be right back. Back. Lights are off on the pace car. Going to be green flag racing next time by. I do want to remind everybody that Flat Out Racing Network did all of the graphics, and the camera package you see tonight was graciously given by FRN as one of their custom Darlington sets that they sent over to us to use tonight. Great looking views, and they also provided one for Daytona this season. So only 11 laps around this track so far. Now guys have to start settling down a little bit. It's Darlington. It's a long race here. Let's see what happens here on this restart. The control car is going to be Charles Gray deciding to go on the outside, and green flag in the air. Waits no time to get going here. And we'll see what ends up happening behind him. Everybody's going to immediately get into single file to try to prevent that side-by-side racing that we saw earlier that was causing problems for people. And a move back there in the back. That is Brandon Osborne making a move on Aaron Beaver for the 5th position. A nice move by that driver. And he will complete that pass, no problem. And now he will set his sights on the car in front of him. That is Ruchi in the 28 car. And the caution flies. Not sure what's going on here. Trying to find out. We got cars involved. Looks like Jason Lance is one of those vehicles that was spinning there. So we're going to go ahead and back it up. So we're kind of going to be maybe a caution fest tonight. Not sure. It's just kind of the nature of Darlington. Looks like the 60 car got out of shape there, but might have had some help. Nope. Looks like the 60 car had, that's Ryan Potter there in the 60 car, had an issue and not a whole lot of, I mean, it looks like he got loose off the corner here. And then I thought he had help from the 4 of Keller, but he was already out of shape before that even happened. He's trying to save the car right there. Keller in the brakes, just gets in the back end of him right there. Jason Lance nowhere to go, right into the front. That's a lot of damage to that car. The 43 of Brown starts to duck down below. The 81 got through there, no problem. Another hit from the 37 of O'Neill. Man, oh man. A lot of guys just not braking early enough to prevent some of these. I mean, well, it looks like it's preventable, but let's see what it looks like in full speed, because that is really what matters here. These guys going around the track pretty fast. So the 60 gets out of shape fast. Right in there, the 86. Everybody should be in the brakes right there. Nobody's in the brakes. Everybody's just kind of pull trickling straight through a Days of Thunder style. So that is going to be the 60 driver of Ryan Potter. He's going to be coming down pit road. He'll probably get a fast repair on that car and get back out there on the track. Not a whole lot of damage. He's able to come back here on his own power. So if we were watching earlier, we didn't have anything change here. The 87 of Charles Gray still the leader right now, but the one to watch right now is going to be that 80 car of Brandon Osborne. Started P15 and right now in 5th, and he was just about to set up a pass on the 28 before that caution came out. So we're going to keep an eye on that driver. The 9 car of Scott Barkman will be your lucky dog. So he was the first one a lap down, so he'll be able to come back and get his lap back. He'll be back on the lead lap. As you see right there, started P25, and he's had an up and down night, 25th up to 19th. Lowest he's been tonight is 27th, so he'll get his lap back and maybe get back out there once again. Jason Lance, that car came down pit road, and it indeed got another fast repair as he was involved in that earlier accident tonight. So that is not going to change. Another driver out there still hasn't come down pit road, and I'm not really sure why. David Sermon, a lot of damage to that 40 Toyota, and he has decided to not come down pit road for whatever reason, to use any fast repairs. Maybe he knows that he's going to need them later in the race. I'm not sure. But that throwback scheme right there is pretty cool. He went back and threw his original DK Dave Gaming right there. You can see it's crumpled up all over it, but back when he first started his YouTube channel, it was DK Dave, and that's why he has that tonight. Another car is Andrew Ewing. This driver here, he started 27th, he's up to 20th, but we haven't talked much about him tonight. In the 15 car, he was the one that just got through that mess behind Sermon on that crash that we just saw there. So, lap 16, we have 100 laps we have to get around Darlington, and these guys are not taking it easy at all. Not at all. We'll be right back with some more action at Darlington. And welcome back to Darlington, where we have seen nothing but cautions so far tonight. Hopefully these guys will be able to get a green flag run. Had some drivers that were looking very promising in this race that got caught up in some earlier accidents, but now they are starting to show some perseverance and moving their way back in to the front of the field. The control car right now is indeed Charles Gray taking that outside lane once again. That's the preferred one. That's going to be Dylan Macedo on the inside. Green flag in the air. And there he goes. That is going to be the man of Charles Gray getting through all of his gears with no issue. And he's starting to pull away already. Watching back here in the back, we got a side-by-side battle. That's Wes Graham right next to Brandon Osborne. One of those drivers we saw that was fast in practice when he came out. And now he had a good qualifying run. Started in P5 and right now, and he's showing he hasn't moved around very much, so he's still in 5th. And now he's under fire from, that's Nick Sargent there in the 48 car coming up on the back bumper there. And then we have another battle back towards the back. That's down kind of around where Aaron Beaver is. And that is the 2 car of Essery trying to get around Kyle Cleveland. Cleveland in that Coors Light car that we haven't seen much of tonight. Cool throwback scheme there. And here comes Chris Essery on the inside. We'll see if he can complete this pass, and it looks like he's really going to try. Still side by side, and the 11 of Cleveland gets in the wall. And the 2 of Essery will clearly take that position back. Up front, we have Charles Gray starting to pull away. I know I'm a poet and didn't know it tonight. I don't know why, but about 0.8 right there he's got on Macedo. Everybody starting to finally settle a little bit here. Brandon Osborne really starting to pull away from Graham there after that side-by-side battle. We're keeping an eye on the other racing that is happening here on the track. Off in the back, we have some racing right around Ryan Potter, one of those drivers that had to get fixed. And that is one of the drivers that was, started out towards the front. That's going to be, I'm sorry, he is a lap down still. I was looking at Logan Pugh there. He's still showing a lap down, but right now under fire from Jason Lance trying to get to the outside of the 60, and he will complete that pass and move on his way back up. This is how crazy it is to get around here. We're riding here with Charles Gray tonight. He's leading the race, and we're going to see how he gets around the track here. This is where you want to come out of the throttle here, and now you commit back into the throttle, drive it up next to the wall, and now you're going to just kind of roll out a little bit more and then back to it again. That's how you get through turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 are a lot different. Here, you're going to have to do a heavy braking right here, let the car really well up, drive up next to the wall, start to ease back into that power ever so slightly, all the way committing to the throttle to the wall, and that is a lap here around Darlington. Pretty crazy. Another battle back here. We're watching Aaron Beaver made it to the inside of Essery there. Now we have a nice battle for that, and he's going to fall back in line with him. Aaron Beaver, one of those drivers, started 11th, and he's been up to 5th, and now he's right there where he was before. Well, now he's in 8th. I'm sorry. So a good run by that driver tonight. Watching the difference of how a lot of these guys, it comes down to your commitment in turns 1 and 2 and your confidence getting in that corner. A lot of the guys that we see getting out of shape, giving it too much gas on exit out of 2, that's where we're seeing those spins tonight. You're seeing how just different Beaver is driving the car compared to what we saw out of Gray there. That's Matt Ruchi right there under fire from the 80 car of Brandon Osborne. Trying to get to that back bumper. Let's see how these drivers get through turns 1 and 2 here. Out of that throttle. And they commit back into that throttle there for the wall, and then out of it again on exit and back to it again. And we saw the 80 car dived a little bit lower there on that one. but he's starting. This is where you can get him right there. You're in turn 3 and 4. You hit the brakes when you're getting into 3. You can actually outbrake a driver getting into 3. Another driver on the move right now is that 81 car of Brandon Buggs, getting involved in a few accidents early on, but now he's looking okay here. He's, shown speed in practice. He was the top of the leaderboards there in practice, right now showing P9, as he is now trying to find his way around Aaron Beaver. And you can see these two drivers right here. They're driving turns 1 and 2 very, very similar. We'll see if he gets him down here into 3. Looks like he's going to give him the position. The 97 of Beaver just said, hey, you know what? That's all good, man. You're faster than me. I have no problem giving you room right now, and maybe he'll return the favor later in the race. So that's Brandon Buggs now moving up to P8. Well, it was crazy in the beginning, but now it has turned into a green flag run, and Charles Gray is starting to pull away. About a second and a half there to Macedo between the two drivers. And now we're starting to see something coming out of the 60 car of Osborne. I think he's going to try to get down, maybe not this time, but he's right there on Ruchi. Brandon Osborne, one of those drivers that's extremely aggressive when it comes to racing, but he has the skill. He has the talent to get it done. He finds himself back in a lot of these issues with the slower drivers or something, or somebody, he gets into somebody else's mess. But this time, we're seeing him really start to shine. And he's thinking about the inside of the 28 of Ruchi. We'll see if he'll get him in turns 3 and 4 here into the braking zone. He's there. And we're looking off the back bumper here of Ruchi as that 80 car is slowly but surely trying to get there. Car maybe thinking about it there a little bit, but they're just so even on speed, it's hard to say. And as the night goes on, we're going to see that change in the tires. And when these drivers start, using up their tires, it's going to be a whole different ball game, especially how close you're going to run to the line. And something that iRacing added recently, not recently, but within, I say recently because I used to run iRacing back in the day a lot in the NIS series, and they didn't have this, but that is the side force that you see these drivers getting up next to the wall. You're actually going to have that modeled here in iRacing. They didn't have that earlier on, so it didn't matter if you ran the wall. You weren't going to be faster. You could try, but it was really, really hard to get any runs on the outside. Now the difference is now the caution flies. There's Gage Bookman there involved. A lot of damage to the front of that car and to Potter there as well. We're going to back it up here, and we're going to see exactly what just happened there. And that's not what Charles Gray wanted to see. Looks like it came off of turn number 4. Bookman just finds that Darlington Stripe, tries to keep it into the wall, but ricochets off of it, goes right into Potter, right across the nose of Potter, nowhere to go. Both of those drivers to the inside wall. Hard lick for both of them, and tears the front end of those cars off. And they're going to have to come down pit road and get one of those fast repairs. Let's have a ride along with Potter, because with Potter, it's one of those situations you just, you're racing along and watch how fast it all changes. The 36 in the wall, nowhere to go, right across the nose. Just like that. And now that you're back under caution, you have to come down pit road. I'm sure Bookman is probably apologizing for that one, as he should. But you know what? It's just a mistake. It happens to the best. A lot of damage to the back end of that car as well. So I would imagine this driver coming down pit road to get that repaired. I don't know what's going on here with the 5 car. He's really close to him, and they were under caution. That's Christopher Fleisner there in the 5. Not sure if maybe Potter wasn't happy with them. I know he's going to come down pit road now, so there you have it. Back out front, Charles Gray is leading this thing all night long. That was the green flag run we were waiting to see, and now we have it. We'll be right back here, folks, under the lights at Darlington. And we are back once again. So some things happened here while we were on break, and that was some drivers electing to come down pit road. Some decided to stay out. One of those was Gray. Fodorero finds himself now in P2. You have Brown, Reno, Fleisner, Lance, Basita, Ruchi, and then Brandon Buggs back there in 13th. We're seeing right there on the scoring loop, but I'm going to see who's in 9th. I'm sorry about that. That is Brandon Osborne in 9th. So some things are changed here. We're going to see how this restart changes up everything here. We have a lot of different drivers up front right now. And green flag in the air once again here at Darlington. And what a jump that driver of Gray had on the field. He is absolutely taken off away from him. Back towards Matt Ruchi. This is where things are starting to spice up a little bit. And this is exactly what Brandon Osborne wanted to see. Ruchi to the bottom here. He's going to take the top lane, following Fleisner around. And we got a car sideways. That indeed was the 11 car. But he's going to continue on. So that was Cleveland got out of shape there. And already starting to see somebody falling back. That's Jason Lance in the 86. And the 81 of Brandon Buggs. Look at the inside of him. And now Fleisner's all over the place, and he loses it. Fleisner completely stopped on the backstretch. He's going to toe in, so the caution will not fly. We're staying green as of right now. A lot of racing still going on back here towards the back, right around Brandon Buggs. Behind them, you got Jason Lance, and that is Chris Essery, side-by-side racing. And you just see how crazy it is right now for Lance on the outside lane as he now has somebody behind him trying to get around. That's the 48 of Nick Sargent. And it's completely single file in front of all of those drivers. We'll see if Sargent can get around, and he has no problem with that at all. He's on his way towards the front now as he finds himself in P11. He's going to be hunting down Essery. A lot of cars out of shape. Reno in the wall. And that was the 81 of Brandon Buggs had problems there, but Reno had the shot there that had the worst part of that entire thing, and he's trying to get out of the way of Cleveland. The driver of that 22 car, he just got loose out of 2 there. Almost collected the 81 of Brandon Buggs as well. Back up front, we're nose to tail all the way back. Everybody in a single file lane right now, as I think everybody's starting to, knock those nerves off, even now on lap 44. And now we have somebody under fire. That's going to be back here, right around Joel Brown. He's on the outside, and he's going to be falling back as Dylan Macedo makes that move on him and will complete that pass, and that's Matt Ruchi. The 81 of Brandon Buggs had his hands full completely around turn number 2. A lot of damage still to the right side of that car, and even the rear left. And now we got a caution here. Looks like Isaiah Stevens possibly involved. Indeed. We're going to back that up and find out exactly what happened. It was one of those things where the whole field kind of got flip-flopped there. You have a lot of guys that aren't used to racing each other, and that's what happened. But looks like it was just Isaiah Stevens getting loose off of turn number 2. We've seen this all night long. Not a whole lot he can do right there, just sideways, trying to save that car. And I can tell you from experience, you're not going to save this car. And that was something we knew coming into this race tonight. A lot of the guys that drive, week after week here talked about, especially on the Monday night. If you guys don't watch the Monday Night League, it is on West the Mess 88, his channel here on Twitch. You can go over there on Monday nights and watch all of the action there. He puts on a great show with Brandon Osborne and company. And they had a discussion saying, hey, you know what? Something about Darlington and the next gen car currently in iRacing is that it is a handful. It takes a lot of skill to get this car around this track, and we're seeing that here tonight. Guys that maybe they didn't put enough practice in this week, and it's starting to show. So Alex Reno, the lucky dog, he'll get his lap back. Good to see that. He got that car taken care of on pit road. Oh, sorry, that wasn't a 22. Who was that? It was somebody else. A very similar paint scheme. I'm sorry. I told you already tonight. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, and that is because, well, they're all on a throwback scheme tonight. I'm not used to seeing this many different car combinations of colors and schemes when I had just started to learn them all. Oh, man, back under caution again. Charles Gray is the leader. We'll be right back. All right, we are back here at Darlington under the lights, back under caution, completing lap 49. We'll be restarting on lap 50. I saw somebody having concern about a possible tire rub out of the 81 camp. That is not a problem in iRacing. You do not have to worry about it at all. And not to mention, we're in the next-gen cars that are supposed to eliminate that issue altogether. So your leader right now is Charles Gray. He's been dominant tonight, but now he has a new contender, and that... Cars are very loud, I know. That is Favignano. You know, making that decision to stay out as well for track position. And green flag flies once again here at Darlington. Watching right here, Favignano starting to fall back. That was Brandon Osborne made a power move on the outside to take third. An incredible run by him, and now Wes Graham. Now you're starting to see the guys that came down pit road to get those tires. What a difference that is with guys that stayed out, like the 67. And here comes Dylan Macedo to the inside of Favignano as well. Favignano just kind of stuck on the outside. Brandon Buggs to the inside of SRE. Back up front, there is a little bit of a battle brewing here. That's the 87 of Charles Gray now on the inside. Look at Matt Ruchi on the outside there. That's the difference between taking tires and who didn't. And now the 80 of Brandon Osborne will find himself around Charles Gray in the 87 car as well. That was a wild move back there all the way. That was Nick Sargent that made that crazy. Or sorry, not Nick Sargent. That was the other driver back there. Steinhoff made that wild move there on the front stretch. Not sure what's going on with that car. A little loose there, and you can see the 11 car of Cleveland having issues as well. Back up front, Matt Ruchi is trying to hold off the 80 for the lead right now. Now comes down to these two drivers, guys that we have seen all night battling, and it's going to be no different. One heck of a show they're putting on here at Darlington. Both guys very, very good at this track. Wes Graham, one of the running in third right now, and this is his favorite track as well. Osborne trying to look to the inside here of the 28. Started 15th, and now he's finding himself in contention for the lead off of the 28 of Ruchi. The points leader of the season so far. We have some racing back there right now. That was Chris Esri that fell back behind the 81 with that damage on the right side of that car of Brandon Buggs. He finds himself all the way back in P5. And Brandon Osborne will complete the pass. And we have a new leader now off of turn number 2. Sorry, that's turn. Yeah, that was correct. I thought it was 2. A lot of racing happening here towards the front of the pack, and now it looks like Ruchi is under a little bit of fire from the 88 camp. You know, Wes Graham, one of those drivers that every single week is towards the front, unless he gets caught up in some nonsense. He's right there, and now he's got Dylan Macedo right on the back bumper. Another driver that we've seen great things out of. And now Brandon Buggs look at the inside of Macedo. All these drivers are nose to tail right now, kind of just playing follow the leader. But out front right now, Brandon Osborne. What happened to our guy? Well, that was Charles Gray, you know, a driver that has been dominant all night. Got hung out whenever everybody came down pit road. He did not come down pit road. He stayed out. And what that ended up doing, well, that cost him quite a bit. He's finding himself down in P12 right now, trying to hang on to that car to try to get to the end. And Brandon Osborne starting to pull away there from Matt Ruchi in the 28, but the battle is starting to brew back here, right around that position where we just saw Ryan Potter. Oh, man, and that was one heck of a move by Steinhoff to get around Potter. Potter got into the wall there, and that was Steinhoff that decided, hey, you know what? You're in the wall. I'm just going to go right around you. That's an easy one. And he'll find himself up into P10. So a top 10 run right now for Ryan Steinhoff in the 59. The battle is brewing right here on Ruchi. You can just see how close that Wes Graham is to the back bumper of Ruchi, but Graham can't take his time getting around Ruchi because he's got Macedo right there. We'll see what happens with these three drivers. Everybody's starting to stay in a single file lane right now. The 81 fell off the back of the 25 just by a few car lengths there. And running a little bit of a lower line in 3 and 4 than the 25. And we got a lapped car here going to be going down a lap there. That is going to be the 5 of Fleisner, as he will easily give that position to the leaders. And starting to see a little bit, still seeing a battle back there. That's Ryan Steinhoff and Ryan Potter. That has not stopped. These two are still going at it. Potter, you know, and those previous laps got into the wall there and got slowed up, and Steinhoff was able to pounce and take that position away. But Steinhoff now up into 9th right now. A driver that we saw starting P28 tonight. Drove his butt off towards the front in that throwback 59 DuPont car from Jeff Gordon back when he ran that particular paint scheme for DuPont. And right now showing P9. A great run for him right now as he's trying to keep Potter at bay as they're going to get around the lap car of Fleisner there. And that's the 37 of Eric O'Neill going to move to the bottom of the track to let the 80 by, and the rest of the leaders. You see a lot of respect out here on the track between a lot of these drivers. They know, hey, you know what? I didn't have the greatest night tonight. I don't want to be holding you up. And you see them duck to the bottom of the track like that to provide that racing and not keep it slowed up the slightest. But back here, we're watching right around here, the 88, the 28, 88, and 25. This has been a constant race here to try to hold this position. Now let's see how Graham gets around here a little bit differently. I mean, right there, he's got Macedo on the back bumper. But let's watch right here on board with Graham how he gets through 1 and 2. Pretty much an identical line, maybe just a little bit lower than the 28 there, but not by much at all. An incredible run for that driver tonight. And, you know, we've seen Matt Ruchi unload at these tracks, dominate, do really, really, really good. And we're seeing something different here tonight. You know, a driver we talked about earlier was Brandon Osborne getting on you know, having the greatest run in qualifying, but definitely a driver that could show a lot of speed tonight. We knew that Osborne was one to watch, and Graham, but Bugs, you know, having one of those seasons where he just didn't have the speed he wanted early on in the season. Got caught up in a lot of wrecks, found himself in the middle of the pack there for a while. And he had a lot of speed in practice tonight, and he's racing Chris Essery for the 5th position right now. And Chris Essery takes a much lower approach to turn 1 and 2 there, and he's actually starting to gain on the 81 by running that line. Now here in 3 and 4, where you have to use that heavy braking zone, he's still going a little bit lower than the 81 here, and it seems like it's working for him. He's right there, ever so slightly, and that's all you need to make a pass here at Darlington. on the back bumper of Brandon Buggs here as Essery is trying to find that low lane to get around. You can just see how close he gets to the back bumper here. And he's going to run that lower line right there. And he starts to gain, but ooh. Brandon Buggs got in the wall a little bit right there, and that's going to be enough for Charles Gray to try to get around. No, I'm sorry, he's not getting around. He is going down a lap. So this is the problem right now out of Charles Gray. Dominant in this entire race. What a heartbreaker to be stuck there. And he tries to get around David Sermon there. Sermon got in the wall. Heavy damage to that car. On the right-hand side, he used one of his fast repairs early on, but now he's just trying to hang on to that thing and stay there. But that is a real heartbreaker for that 87 of Charles Gray. And in my opinion right now, you know, he's trying to hold on the best he can and not get lapped over and over again. But he also needs to kind of give some room here for these other guys to get in there. And that was Sermon again in the wall, jumping off the wall. This is a very difficult track for a rookie driver like that, and you're seeing that happen tonight. In that last couple laps, we're seeing that gap change between Matt Ruchi and Brandon Osborne. Brandon Osborne had a comfortable lead there for a little bit, but now Ruchi has started to show his speed in the long run. Now that we're on a longer green flag run, he's running about just 0.25 right off the back bumper there of Osborne, and he's got everybody with him right now. Graham Macedo, and that is that's Gray right there trying to hang on for another lap. But at this point, what do you do? You know, if you're in Charles Gray's position, you have to kind of wait. If you come down pit road right now, you know it's going to be a mess. Right now, all he wants to see is the yellow flag right now, and that's the last thing that Eddie wants to see as he gets a Darlington Stripe right there. We saw sparks come out of the side of that. Aiden, the caution comes out. Exactly what we wanted to see out of that driver. And that is unfortunately the 59 of Ryan Steinhoff. Unfortunate for him, he was all the way up there in the top 10. And now he's sideways on the track. We're going to find out what just happened here in a few moments. Looks like it was just contact right there. We saw it earlier with Potter. I don't know if it's a thing between him and Potter here, but we're going to watch this from a few angles here. It looks like he gets a little loose there. Looks like the 48 of Sargent's all out of shape there, and I don't know what happened there with the 59, but he gets into the wall with Potter there, and they both end up with damage on their cars. And oh my, that was really close with the 15 car there. Let's back it up and just kind of see what happened here on the rear bumper of the 59. If he had any help in this. No, he just got loose there, and then they were just right next to each other. Unfortunate for them. So no, that was no contact between him and Potter. We're gonna see what happened with Potter here in just a few. Is what he saw from his position. The 59 just loose right there, trying to avoid. I think that's what happened. I think the 59 got loose because he saw Nick Sargent sliding to the bottom of the track there, and maybe thought that the car was going to come back up onto the track, so he overcorrected. Gets into the wall. Yeah, and that was Aaron Beaver there involved as well with the 48. So we're going to find out what happened between those two drivers as they both were involved. So we're going to back that up. This is where it all happened right around here. So the 97, the 48, 97 of Aaron Beaver gets in the wall right there, makes contact with the 48, and they go into the inside wall together, and that bobbled up the rest of the field, and then you have an accident after the accident, essentially. Unfortunately, that's what happened right there. This is everybody coming down pit road right now. We'll see what happens here. Brandon Osborne staying out. A lot of other drivers were on pit road. I thought that we had somebody come down pit road. I don't think that actually is the case. Nope. And Matt Ruchi is in the lead right now. We got to find out what happened here. When we go back and we watch these replays, we miss so much on track. It could have been somebody staying out, somebody coming down pit road. We might already miss that pit road, or the pit stops happening there. It's one of those things when we're just here by ourselves, so we do apologize for that. We try to keep the best coverage we can, let you know what's going on. But right now it's showing Matt Ruchi scoring P1. And those other drivers in front of them are wave arounds. Which means that they didn't come down pit road. So Ruchi must have made the pass right around... Wait, we already knew that. We already knew that. Ruchi had made that pass on Brandon Osborne. I remember that. Okay, I'm sorry. We're a little ahead of ourselves here. It's kind of weird when you go back in time and then forward in time again. I had to double check to make sure that was the case. So Ruchi passed the 80. I remember that happening. So I'm sorry about that. That is the 40 of Sermon and the 4 of Keller. They stayed out because they want to get that lap back. So they will be the wave around cars. If the 28 came down pit road and all the leaders did, they would not be wave around cars. And there they go right now. So lights are off on the pace car. The green flag racing back when we get here on lap 77. Now we'll see where Charles Gray ended up out of that whole mess. He had to come down pit road and get tires. He's showing P23. I'm not seeing he fixed that right side of the car, though. Still a lot of damage to the right side of the 87. But if he came down pit road and got tires, that's anybody's guess. And it looked like the 5 of Fleisner has gotten the wall just a little bit under caution, but one here right now, look at this. We're seeing this 89 of James Hilton there in P6 right now. One of those drivers that have been ever so slightly trying to get up there in the front. Green flag in the air once again here at Darlington. Matt Ruchi powers off there, but Brandon Osborne's right there. He's not running away from it, that's for certain. And Brandon Osborne all over the back bumper of the 28. He's going to make a move to the inside for the lead. And what a pass that was right there for the 80 car of Brandon Osborne. He gets around the 28, no problem. Back here, you've got a bit of a battle between the 88 of Wes Graham and the 81 of Brandon Buggs. Side-by-side racing here. And he'll get that position right there to the 81 of Brandon Buggs. And now he's going to try to get around the 25. And the 81 got loose. And he'll get that position back to Wes Graham. You think it's the guys that didn't put a lot of time into it, but that's not the case. It's a loose racetrack for a lot of these drivers. Back out front, Brandon Osborne starting to pull away from Matt Ruchi. Matt Ruchi holding off Dylan Macedo. Macedo's showing a lot of speed. We got somebody sideways back here. And that indeed is the 73 of Stefan Benende. And one of those drivers that started, kind of towards the back. I mean, pretty much in the back, 24th, and now he's showing P8 right now. He's trying to hang on to that car, the 73 of Benende there. So nice run for that driver. And we're watching this battle brewing right here between the 88 and the 81. It's definitely interesting to watch. Right on board with Wes Graham, looking out the back of the 81 of Brandon Buggs, breathing down his neck, trying to wait for Graham to make a mistake, if that ever comes. Definitely fun to watch. And on board with Brandon Buggs here. You can see the difference of how different it is between these two drivers and the lines that they run. But on top of that, you can see how loose of a car he's driving right now. And he's looking at the inside of the 88. He's starting to do something we saw, seeing those guys run that lower line from earlier. We're starting to see the 81 kind of starting to put his left side tires down a couple grooves from what he was running earlier. So maybe he picked up something from a different driver, but right now still showing P5. And he jumped way out of the gas right there, so a really loose race car off of 2. Matt Ruchi trying to hold off the 25 of Macedo. And look at that draft starting to work right there on those straightaways. That's where it really counts. And he's able to get to the back bumper of the 60. We're on board with your leader, Brandon Osborne, looking out the back here. You can see the difference of Ruchi right there. You're in 3 and 4 right here, as it was the braking zone. And that's where he's gaining a lot on him right there in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2. Looks like Osborne's got it figured out. He drives it really deep in there, commits. Look at that, almost fully in the throttle, and then just barely out on the exit. So a huge difference in those drivers. Now we're coming up on lap traffic. But looking out in the back, we have Ryan Potter falling back in position, giving it that to Stefan Benende there. And now we have Kyle Cleveland behind him. Watching right around P5. This is where Brandon Buggs and Wes Graham have been going back and forth. Buggs trying to find a way around that 88 car. A lot happening up here, and that was a close call. Really close call there with Sermon, and he gets in the wall. And Sermon sideways. The caution flies. He holds it down, the brake there. He got in the wall, trying to stay out of the way of everybody. And he just couldn't hang on to that car anymore. A lot of damage on the right side of that car. You guys know Dave, you know Sermon from Damn It Dave on YouTube. This is rookie season in iRacing, and this is one heck of a track for any driver. It doesn't matter of what your skill is. It is not easy to get around here. He's trying to stay out of everybody's way and stay on the high line. Unfortunately, the high line is the racing line, so going to the bottom probably would have been better for him. But as of right now, Brandon Osborne, who's going to come down pit road, going to be Matt Ruchi. Matt Ruchi coming down pit road. Nope, he's going to stay out. He thought about coming down pit road, but nobody else is going to go with him. And looks like everybody's staying out as of right now, completing lap 86 under caution. We'll be back. And welcome back to the track for the Throwback 100 at Darlington. Why is it throwback? Well, it is tradition, just like the Southern 500 in NASCAR, where they do the throwback paint schemes. And tonight we do that here in fashion for the OCRP League, the Throwback 100 at Darlington. And that is sponsored by Thrustmaster and Next Level Racing. For all your graphics needs, that is Flat Out Racing Network. You can check those guys out. The ones who do it for us, they can do it for you. You check them out, Flat Out Racing Network. My name is Jeff Favignano. I'm the only one in the booth tonight. Civ Ryan taking a night off. He's got family in town for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for them is early on as they're in Canada land, up there in Canada. So we hope he's having a good night tonight, watching maybe on the couch at all the action with his family. Maybe we have no clue. No way for us to know. Now it comes down to the Brandon, Osborne, and Ruchi show. Matt Ruchi there, been dominant throughout this season. One of the drivers that had the worst luck of the night was indeed Charles Gray. We saw that 87 car. I think it finally came down pit road and got it fixed. We'll see what that looks like on the inside here as it gets through the corners. Yep, no, he still got damage on that car, so not sure. I think he came down pit road and got tires for sure. But we'll see what happens here as the lights are off on the pace car, getting ready to go back underway. Should be an interesting restart here. A lot of guys just, everybody's staying out, waiting, but we're running out of time. 11 laps to go. I think this is the time you're going to see guys making these really, really bold moves, and it's time to do it. Let's go back green flag racing. I know I'm excited for this restart. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely am. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. And the pace car is down and away. Your control car, indeed. Brandon Osborne showing right now, or Matt Ruchi. Should be Osborne there. Osborne, a green flag in the air, and the 25 gets turned. Big jump behind him. Everybody reckon. Kyle Cleveland involved. The 48 of Nick Sargent. Macedo involved in that. Back under caution. Somebody spun tires somewhere, and we're back at it again, unfortunately. Let's watch that one back. This is not what you want to see towards the end of these races. The 25, was it him that spun? It might have been the 81 that gave him a shot there. We're going to see exactly what happened here on this restart. The 25 maybe spun those tires right in front of Essery, and Cleveland gets a shot right there. Lance nowhere to go. The 48 of Sargent backed into, that was Charles Gray to the bottom. Everybody just huge junk back there. Not a good start to there. We're going to see what happened from the chopper cam. Best way to see this one, actually. So here comes the green flag, and the 25 of Macedo just absolutely spins the tires to the right in front of the 2 of Essery. So the 81 had no part of that and didn't get any damage on that restart. Unfortunately. That was a bad one. That's one you just don't want to ever see that in general, but on a restart like that, if you're that guy that spins the tires, it's the worst feeling in the world. Here's the restart right in front of what Brandon saw. And there was the junk behind him. We didn't even get to show you anything on that restart. It was just craziness. Well, now you know the time is starting to run out. Lap 92, we're going to be restarting. We're going to be running out of laps very quickly. There's Aaron Beaver getting his lap back as a lucky dog. And now that Macedo's out, Graham is in, P2. And Ruchi is scored 3rd right now off of that restart. That whole mess that we just saw there changed up so much in the front. What a heartbreaker for the 25 of Macedo. I'm sure he's not very happy with how that one turned out on older tires. It's one of those things. It's really easy to spin your tires here at Darlington, and we saw one of those drivers. It got the best of them. Macedo, I believe, has left the entire race tonight after having a great run for that driver. But we always ask people, hey, you know what? Even if you had a bad, oh, sorry, I said that wrong. Macedo's still out on the track. I couldn't find him. I was blind. So Macedo's showing P17 right now. So he can get something back here. I was about to say, it's like we don't ever want to see anybody leave because, especially if you've been running up front tonight and you don't have any fast repairs that you've used, you can still hang in there and get points. I understand the frustrations. So ones to watch on this next restart, a driver that we saw, moving his way up ever so slightly. That is Stefan Benende. And he's in 6th right now. And he started in P24. Joel Brown, another driver. He started 6th. He dropped all the way back to 24th after that early incident and shows himself in P5. A driver that we saw a lot of speed out of in Pocono and had a heartbreaker there. Brandon Osborne, your leader. We'll be right back. And the lights are off on the pace car, getting ready to restart this one, lap number 95. So that will be 5 to go when we restart this race. It's anybody's guess how it's going to end up. The 88 of Wes Graham watch on this restart. Osborne is the control car to watch. Here we go. It's going to be a fun one regardless. Brandon Buggs in 4th. And green flag back in the air at Darlington. There's a great restart there off of the 80, and now the 88 has his hands full hanging on to keep the 81 of Brandon Buggs off the back bumper, but here comes Ruchi trying to look to the outside of the 81. And the 81 falling back right there. Ruchi to the outside, trying to take that lane away. That is the preferred lane here at Darlington, so that's what you want to see. Might have had a car a little out of shape back there. Couldn't tell. Maybe we're okay there now. Back up front. Osborne, man, he's just hanging on to this car. Going to be completing lap 97 here. Only 3 to go. We're going to see what happens. All the way back here, watching for any of the racing, and the 88 gets loose off of that corner right there. Gives it to 28 of Ruchi. He'll take that position. And the 81 trying to capitalize on that mistake, and he's going to try to get to the 88 as well. Coming up on lap number 98 here. Watching back here, Joel Brown trying to hold him off. You got Favignano breathing down his neck. Damage all over the front of Essery's car. Watching any sort of racing that we have on the track right now. And that was Joel Brown getting in the wall. He's going to fall back. And the two of Essery and Ryan Potter right next to each other. That's going to change up for 7th and 8th. But what an incredible drive tonight for Osborne. A driver that has been just putting it down week after week, slowly but surely. He's in the throwback to his I'm doing an IRL in real life, but his real life race car back when he ran it. Here tonight at Darlington. It's a special scheme to him. He made a special video about it. You want to check it out on his Twitter, the Cone Killer. White flag in the air, sponsored by Thrustmaster. We saw Osborne dominant early on in the seasons of OCRP iRacing. And here he is in season number 8. And he's going to drive away with it tonight here at Darlington. Brandon Osborne wins at Darlington. Osborne, Ruchi. Matt Ruchi had a pass there towards the end, and we saw him get around Graham. Then Brandon Buggs in 4th. 5th to Benende. What a great run by Benende tonight. Favignano, Brown, Essery, Steinhoff, and Macedo. Steinhoff persevering after that accident that he had. and he will round out a top 10 tonight. You see right there the 81 giving a shot to the 80 car, saying, nice job, man. You did it. I know these guys are friends. It's always good to see them get their wins. So the 80 car is going to take another lap here before he burns it down. The 80 cars just of Osborne's just kind of soaking it in, you know. It's been a battle this entire season, you know. The behind the scenes, he put so much work into the league alongside Wes Graham early on with the vetting of the new drivers. A lot of time and effort spent into to making OCRP iRacing series what it is today. And here he is right now, about to burn it down at Darlington to get his first win in the season. And it's been a long time coming for this driver. So excited to see the 80 car get a win here tonight at Darlington. Right behind him was Matt Ruchi, which has been just incredibly fast this year. All right, buddy, burn it down. And we have your unofficial results right now. Brandon Osborne takes the win tonight at Darlington. Matt Ruchi in second. Third goes to Wes Graham. Fourth to Brandon Buggs. A good run out of that team there. Started eighth. Stefan Benende, one of the biggest movers for sure to go from 24th up to 5th. Fodorero in sixth. Then you have Joel Brown in 7th there. And then Chris Essery, Ryan Steinhoff, and Dylan Macedo round out the top 10. Then in P11, you have James Hilton. A great run out of him. He started 10th. He hung around right there. We haven't seen a lot of speed out of him this season so far, but right here, we're seeing it tonight. And 12th goes to Kyle Cleveland, Ryan Potter, Jason Lance, Nick Sargent, Aaron Beaver with P16 after starting 11th, and Alex Reno got in a little bit of trouble there for a while, but he was able to come back and score P17, just one behind where he started tonight. Isaiah Stevens in 18th, 19th to Andrew Ewing, and then we got Charles Gray, a heartbreaker for that driver that dominated the race tonight and made a bad call on pit road, or didn't come down pit road to get the tires everybody else did, and fell like a rock in P20. Rounding out the rest of them, you got Christopher Fleisner in 21st, 22nd at Robert Keller. David Sermon, not last, certainly not last. So he's going to be the rookie that is starting out this season, and he'll finish out in 23rd. 24th is Scott Barkman, Gage Bookman in 25th. 26th to Eric O'Neill, Logan Pugh, another heartbreaker for another team there. Started 4th tonight, ends up 27. 28th to Tony Wilson and Rick Evans. So both of those guys, I don't believe they were here. I think they were just watching the race, as they have not scored anything happening there. So there you have it. What a night it has been, right? It's been a night. Let's go ahead and we are going to head over and talk to our winner and some of the others here. Just give us a second for iRacing to catch up. There we go. Wonderful. And we will reset that. Be right back.
So, I really apologize. You know,
I know I'm just one. I know.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about.
I know I'm just one guy, but I'm trying to do the best I can here. Brandon Osborne, what a heck of a run tonight. Tell us how it went, and congratulations on your first win in the season.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first I was, apologizing to everyone. I, kind of goofed up on pit road there at the first time and might have cost someone a spot or two. So I really apologize for that. It's not how we should race each other. So that's really gonna, reflect on myself from this race. Overall, though, it was a fun race. Everyone ran clean. We had some really good green flag runs there with Ruchi and Wes behind us pushing hard, and it was really exciting. I had a lot of fun. Once we figured out the setup here, it was a lot of fun to drive.
And are we correct by saying that it's your birthday today?
Tomorrow.
It's actually tomorrow. Okay, well, I'm still a birthday win regardless of how you put it down, so a nice birthday present there for sure. Can you explain a little bit more to everybody about what happened on pit road? Yeah,
so when we go down pit road, we're supposed to stay in the right lane, or at least, the two right lanes, and I went through the boxes basically trying to keep the speed limit because people in front of me weren't going the speed limit, and I shouldn't have gone through the boxes because when you go in the boxes it creates a no collision zone, which that wasn't a big deal then, but no matter what, it's not okay to go through the boxes like that. So yeah, that's all that happened there. I should have at least stayed in the middle pit lane, the two right pit lanes there when we come in. So just trying to take advantage of whatever I could, honestly, and I took it a little too far there. So my bad.
Well, there you have it. You started P15 after the qualifying, and you ended up in where it counts. Regardless of what happened on pit road, the driving was still there. A very difficult car to get around Darlington tonight, and he pulls out the win. Moving on, I do want to talk to one of the biggest movers we saw tonight. What exactly happened for you, Stefan Benende, for you to have a 24th start and round out a top 5 tonight?
Just picking them off one at a time and getting lucky and dodging cars like a cat. We kind of got screwed in the beginning. I didn't take any fast repairs, but I had damage, and then I accidentally took a set of my right tires, so I was on my first set of tires for up to 70 laps, and then the caution fell at the right time, and we were on even tires after that, and we were able to catch back up. Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting back up there where I should have been. But yeah, just taking it slow, one at a time.
That was an incredible drive by Benende there. He gained 19 positions out of the night, so thank you very much for that, man. I want to move on to another big mover of the night. That was Ryan Steinhoff. You had a little bit of an up and down. You had a lot of up, and then you had this small little down. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had a really bad qualifying. Tapped the wall both times, so threw it away. Was fine starting in the back, and knew that I just had to take my time. Learned a lot from the Monday night race, and with that, it just taught me to just breathe, take it one lap at a time, one spot at a time, and just roll with it. I have a lot to thank for my crew chief. Actually, I had a guest crew chief, Matt Wagner. He told me what to do everywhere, and I owe it all to him, man. It was heartbreaking getting up to 9th and losing it, getting stuck a lap down, but he knew what to do, knew what to say, and we were able to bring it back.
Well, a fantastic run for you tonight. Glad to see it. Anybody who starts in the back and works their way all the way up to the front like you did tonight at Darlington definitely deserves a pat on the back. I want to catch up to a driver that we talked about all night. This is his favorite track. Wes, how did your night go? I know it got a little loose there towards the end. Was that just the tires falling off?
It's just cold tires. I mean, we're sitting in there trying to go wide open through turns 1 and 2. and it just started to step out. During practice, I turned the rack and pinion system all the way up to max sensitivity, just so we could save the car coming out of 2 and out of 4 when need be. And I mean, all in all, I kind of put myself behind the 8 ball. We got very fortunate on that last caution with whatever happened with the 25. I guess he spun his tires or whatnot and ended up weaseling our way past Ruchi to start on the inside of the front row, and I didn't really get a good restart, and Osborne just pulled away. I mean, all in all, still a good night for the 88. We still need some more luck to be able to sit on the top spot, but got to thank Next Level and Thrustmaster and everything for all they do for us, and thank you for the broadcast. Thanks to everybody coming out tonight, and we'll move on to where we're going to New Hampshire. Try to see if we can't go get us a lobster or something.
There you go. Get a lobster. Started 5th, ends up 3rd tonight. Going to talk to Brandon Buggs. Started 8th. You were pretty fast in practice. You were at the top of the board, actually. What happened in qualifying and to start in 8th, and then how did your night go?
Qualifying is always tough. It always feels like the car changes up when you transition from practice into qualify, and I just, was concerned about hitting the wall and getting my time knocked off. So I was trying to just turn clean laps, and 8th was not really where we wanted to be, especially after the practice session. But I just went with it, and we unfortunately got caught up in that first caution. The 2 guys in front of me hitting the wall, and I just could not slow my car down enough to not get into them, and then just kind of got ran over. And thankfully was able to power up through the pack and get back up towards the front, and give P3 a little competition there for a couple of laps, but just didn't have any speed for the top 5 guys. Really happy I got a 4th place though out of that, considering there was a lot of talent out there tonight, and really difficult track to drive, but I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
We've seen a lot of speed out of you last season. What has been the biggest struggle of this season so far for you? Because it's been a little bit of a slow move back to get towards the front.
Yeah, I think this it has a lot to do with the cars. You can't really spread out very far in these cars on a lot of these tracks, and thankfully tonight we could actually make some distance on people and break up the pack a bit. But when it's just that tight pack racing, it kind of just feels like a roll of the dice when you start racing, and just kind of hope you end up near the front.
Well, there you have it. The 81 will come out in P4. I couldn't decide which heartbreaker I wanted to talk to tonight, because I know either one of them are going to be very salty. It was going to be between Macedo and it was going to be between Gray, but I think I'm going to instead point that laser right towards Gray. Gray, tell us about your night. What an incredible run you had early on. You showed a lot of speed here, and it just came down to everybody coming down pit road without you.
Yeah, no, I'm not salty at all, man. That was a lot of fun. That race was a ton of fun. Car felt really, really good. Got a good qualifying, and then we had like 3 cautions, and they're within like 20 laps. So when we got a caution on lap, it was like 28 or something. We had only run like 20 laps, maybe, on those tires. I did not think in a 100-lap race that everybody's going to be coming down with 20-lap tires, and they ended up coming down. And then after that, it just kind of fell apart a little bit. Every time I had a chance to kind of get my laps back, I had actually caught the leaders. I passed Wes. I was getting ready to pass Osborne and Ruchi, and then the caution came out, and I was 2 laps down at that point, and I was the first car a lap down. So I would have if I'd have gotten in front of them, I would have gotten that lap back plus the lucky dog. So, well, I guess I only would have gotten 1 lap back, but regardless, then I'm in the back. I had to pass Steinhoff and Beaver. I passed Steinhoff. I'm getting ready to pass Beaver. Caution came out, and then it happened again. So it was so close to getting that lap back and getting competitive again, but that's all right. It's all strategy. I need to get better at that. My pit strategy has always been really bad. I never know when to go in, and when I'm the leader,
I usually go in when the leader does, and when I'm the leader, I don't know what to do. So, but it was a ton of fun. Everybody raced really well around each other, and it was fun, man.
Well, an incredible drive tonight for Gray here, and he was one of the picks for a lot of people tonight. Showing a lot of speed, moving forward to the next race down in New Hampshire. We move on from there. Thank you guys so much for all of your time. What an incredible show it was tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be that for the most part here. Wrapping things up at Darlington. What a great display of talent, because Darlington is one of those tracks that you have to be good at it. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, just have to be good here, and it doesn't matter what car you're driving at Darlington. You just have to be on your game. I remember back in the NIS days, it was one of my favorite tracks to run, and I can understand why a lot of guys love it as well. Brandon Osborne's going to take the win tonight. That does it for us tonight here at Darlington. I'm Jeff Favignano. We'll see you next time.